have looked at the particular clause, Mr. Speaker, and it says the Controller of Customs is hereby authorized to collect that tax as from the date specified in paragraph A of this subsection in accordance with the provisions of the repealed Consumption Tax Act. And Mr. Speaker, the mere fact that you have the word here, repealed, would suggest to me that that particular piece of legislation is no longer in existence. It has been repealed. And I don't understand, Mr. Speaker, how you're going to revise one particular piece of legislation, revive a piece of legislation, Mr. Speaker, by making reference to it in an amendment to an existing piece of legislation. To me, in my mind, Mr. Speaker,
the amendment was made to facilitate customs to collect the consumption tax on cement from traders of the product for 2 years, starting November 1st, 2010. However, Mr. Richards argued that the amendment refers to the repealed consumption tax and thus is not logical.
It is not possible. It doesn't make sense. The Honourable Senator who spoke before me, Mr. Speaker, asked us to err on the side of caution and perhaps some additional method or way, Mr. Speaker, could be looked at in terms of the wording of this particular section. If something has been repealed, Mr. Speaker, it is no longer on the books. If there is a law out there which says, for example, that we have the value-added tax, we come to Parliament, we repeal it, we get rid of it, you no longer have to pay that particular tax. And then you bring a next piece of legislation to say, well, that the value-added tax provided for you to pay 17% on this particular item. And so, based on that tax that used to exist, the provisions of that piece of legislation that used to exist, you will continue to pay that 17% based on the provisions of a piece of legislation which has been thrown to the door, Mr. Speaker.
Member of Parliament for Constituency 5, Shawn Richards. However, Government Senator Richard Skerritt disagreed with Mr. Richards.
Here's what, from a common sense perspective, I'm hearing. That at some point in the past, we came to this Parliament and we said, we are now bringing into force a new tax called the value-added tax. And it will replace the consumption tax. Today, we are saying we are replacing the consumption tax with value-added tax except for cement. Except for cement. The same terms and conditions of the importation and distribution of cement will continue to apply as it was prior to the value-added tax. That is the common sense interpretation that I make of this. If there is a legal drafting issue, and we have confidence that our Attorney General and his team have done it correctly. But if down the road the members opposite find necessary to bring legal drafting which they believe will fix what they think need fixing, then they should bring it. But quite frankly, I think both on the legal aspect of it, which I have absolutely no competence to argue, but certainly on the common sense of it, I clearly understand what is being done here, Mr. Speaker, and I think the public need have no fears whatsoever on this matter. May it please you.
Senator Richard Skerritt. Attorney General Patrice Nisbet, in his explanation, said that the amendment was made to revive the provisions of the repealed consumption tax to facilitate the collection of the consumption tax. Opposition Senator Vincent Byron believes the interpretation of this section of the amendment can cause problems and possible legal action by aggrieved parties. The amendment was eventually approved by the government's majority in the House of Assembly.